Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. This is a bonus episode. I want to thank you for checking in and tuning in to the podcast. Let's get right to it. If you've been following the podcast, you know that we're doing Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore, if you're not familiar, get familiar. For Mount Rushmore, you take uh, four places on the Mount Rushmore, and we're doing athletes, right? And so we're doing particular cities. At the time of this recording, we've already done, I think, a Mount Rushmore for I know we did Atlanta. I think we did the Bay Area too, I think. Don't give me the line. Go back and check the archives. Anyway, on this episode, we're doing the Mount Rushmore for the city of Angels, Los Angeles, California. My second favorite city to visit, right? And here's the rules, if you will, if there are any rules. They represent the city. So they had to have either played for one of the LA teams or been born there and represent from that area. And I stay away from the born there because, everybody is everywhere. And, I'm not about to look up where everybody's born, but more often than not, it's where they represent. So I'll give you an example, like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson he represents, and was born in I think it was Brooklyn. So he represents New York. So Mike Tyson might be on my Mount Rushmore for New York. Tom Brady, while he was born, I think in like the Bay Area and went to high school somewhere in the Bay Area or whatever. Come on, Tom Brady, if he makes the Mount Rushmore for Boston, he'll be on the Mount Rushmore for Boston. So with that being said, let me give you my 4 spots for the Mount Rushmore for Los Angeles. And these are in no particular order. Number 1, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, now the NBA second leading scorer of all time, was just recently surpassed by LeBron James. I think it goes without saying. I mean, Kareem, arguably one of the greatest basketball players of all time in the NBA, led the Lakers. I think he's won 6 championships in LA. They call him the captain. He was the anchor of the Showtime Lakers. Skyhook, anything you want to give him, Kareem definitely deserves his flowers, and he's going to be on my Mount Rushmore. I don't know if you have him on yours, but I'm going to have Kareem on my Mount Rushmore for Los Angeles. Number two, Irvin Magic Johnson. Irvin Magic Johnson, drafted by the Lakers, played his entire career with the Lakers, is now part of the ownership of the Dodgers. What can I say? 5 championships. He was the architect of the Showtime Lakers. Magic is magic. I think it's really hard to describe what Magic Johnson was in the 80s and 90s for someone who didn't see him play, when he was in his prime. Magic was unreal. I mean, he was 6'9". He could see the floor. He could run the floor like a gazelle. He was definitely more interested in passing the ball than he was scoring, but he could score. And even later in his career, he developed a pretty decent jump shot, 3-point shot. It was more of a set shot, but Magic was magic, man. I think most NBA players of today owe a debt of gratitude to Magic Johnson, because Magic Johnson and Larry Bird literally saved the NBA. Had they not had their rivalry in the 80s, the NBA as we know it would have never existed. And that's before Michael Jordan. That's before Kobe. That's before LeBron. Everybody. owes a debt of gratitude to Irvin Magic Johnson. Um, and again, one of the greatest winners of all time. And the thing that you always love about Magic was, when Magic won, and when Magic was on the court, he was having fun. He was gonna smile, but he wanted to rip your heart out too. Um, and I think it goes without saying that Hall of Famer, um, entrepreneur. He did a lot and still does a lot, for the city. But that's not what gets him on the Mount Rushmore. What gets him on the Mount Rushmore is his what he did in that Laker uniform, and he was incredible. So he's at number 2. Number 3 on the Mount Rushmore. Again, they're in no particular order. Number 3, Kobe Bean Bryant. Drafted in 1996, Kobe spent his entire career with the LA Lakers. 5 championships. What can I say, man? I mean, it's almost unfair that you have to speak about Kobe in the past tense. We tragically lost him about 3 years ago, a little more than 3 years ago at the time of this recording. And it really kind of still seems unreal that Kobe's not here. But man, a killer. There was never another Michael Jordan, but if there was somebody close to being the next Mike, it was definitely Kobe. But Kobe was just a killer in and of himself. And I love now to hear, his former teammates and his opponents, some of his rivals, talk about his work ethic and how hard he went and just, what he brought to the game. And, he's getting his, he's always gotten his flowers, but I think even more so now that he's no longer with us, he gets his flowers. But man, Kobe was a bad boy. I mean, and I say it all the time, like anybody that knows me knows that like I wasn't a fan of Kobe, but I couldn't stand him, but I respected his game so much, and I really took to him, particularly after he tore his Achilles on his way back, and I realized like I had been a hater for a long time, and I was like, man, I can't keep hating on this guy. But yeah, Kobe was he was a killer, and he was a guy who, propelled the Lakers franchise to a whole nother level. And the Lakers lore, and he put banners in Staples. I mean, like that was his arena. And again, it's still a little bittersweet to talk about him in the past tense because he really should be here to get those flowers that we give him. But I don't know if you're making a Mount Rushmore of LA. I don't know how Kobe doesn't make your Mount Rushmore. I can make a case for Kareem. I've made a case for Kareem. Magic has to be on your Mount Rushmore. But yeah, Kobe, without a doubt, he's probably the most unanimous amongst fans Mount Rushmore for LA. Number 4 is a very interesting pick because I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, he's done Magic, he's done Kareem, he's done Kobe. Who's next? Well, I'm about to tell you. I'll say this. The person that makes this Mount Rushmore, I could make a case that this person is better than any LA Dodger, any LA King, any LA Rams player, better than any Laker, and that includes Kareem, that includes Kobe, that includes Magic, that includes LeBron, that includes James Worthy, that includes Wilt Chamberlain, that includes the great Chick Hearn. You could throw Vince Scully in there if you want. But this person is more deserving, and I can make a case that they should be the number 1 person for the city of Los Angeles on the Mount Rushmore. That person is Serena Williams. Serena Williams, representing Compton, California. Shout out to Uncle Dolomite from the Too Much Game podcast. Serena, hands down. I can make a case that not only is Serena Williams the best female athlete of all time, I can make a case that she is the best athlete of all time in any generation, any genre. And she probably has the most unlikely story. Coming from where she came from, dominating the way that she did for so long in the time frame in which she did. Nobody. Who's touching Serena? You look at Serena's accomplishments and legacy, they're better than LeBron. It's better than Kobe. It's better than Magic. It's better than Kareem. And I left that for a particular reason, because I wanted to kind of, lead up to it, if you will. But yeah, there's not a Dodger touching Serena. You could talk Koufax, you could talk Fernando. Nobody's touching Serena Williams. Serena Williams definitely belongs at the top of the LA Mount Rushmore. Now, I know some of you probably thinking, oh, well, why didn't this person make it? Why didn't this person make it? You tell me, I will give you my 4, and you tell me who you're going to replace. I got Kareem. I got Magic. I got Kobe. And I got Serena. Who are you taking off that list? Tell me. I mean, maybe, just maybe I might listen. Maybe. Or maybe I won't. Or maybe I'll just laugh at you. But yeah, my Mount Rushmore for the City of Angels: Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bean Bryant, and Serena Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for checking out this bonus edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I want to thank you guys for checking me out. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast. You can find the podcast wherever you're listening or watching right now. Catch me on YouTube. If you feel so inclined, hit us up on Cash App, $TWELVEKYLE. Again, that's going to do it for me. I'm your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5 G's.